Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Rod Gilbert and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Tom Stade. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of Gordon Brown, but what does BLSC stand for?
Is it Brown Lifts See-Through Cucumber?
Is it Bungle Loses Showbiz Costume?
Is it Bonnie Langford Sex Change?
Yeah.
To be honest, what a world it would be if that's the answer. But that was
More likely to vote for him if he was Bonnie Langford.
Really?
What an extra poster as well. Gordon Brown, because I used to be Bonnie Langford. If you don't vote for me, I'll scream and scream and scream.
Has he just been asked to describe himself and he's gone, balls like swinging coconuts?
Has he just been asked to describe himself and he's gone, bad leader, shocking chancellor?
Yeah.
Having it. We're having it tonight.
Is it Brown Levitates Scared Child?
The one that's just out of shot.
Has it got nothing to do with Gordon Brown? Is it Berlusconi's lover, 17?
We all know you spell with a K here.
Also, I love the idea that maybe you've just done that and there's a horse at home watching going,
Sugar cubes? Sugar cubes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is he screaming, bring laxatives, situation's critical?
Listen, let me move you towards the correct answer.
Is it Brown's leadership style criticised?
Yes, it is. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Brown's leadership style criticised. This is the news that Gordon Brown has come under renewed criticism this week for his style of leadership. He was compared by one Labour MP to a mafia boss. In what way is he possibly like a mafia boss?
Well, we know for one way he's not, is he? Because let's face it, if he said to the public, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse, everybody would still go, no.
Is it a case of mistaken identity where somebody thought they woke up next to a horse's head, but what they'd actually done was just fallen asleep in a cabinet meeting next to Margaret Beckett?
Caroline Flint basically got sacked by Brown and then said that the entire cabinet was really laddish. And you're like, what, Miliband and Alistair Darling? Watch out, we're going to Ayia Napa.
He said that Brown was scary and had an intimidating side. Yeah. And you think, well, why doesn't he show that? Anyway, why doesn't he intimidate Al-Qaeda? Why doesn't he intimidate David Cameron? Why is it that the personality he chooses to present to the world is of an old woman's cushion that's been left out in the back garden for cats to piss on? Gordon Brown is so devoid of any life that if he was a cartoon character, this is the stage where they'd be drafting in a sidekick. Is anyone else sort of puzzled that Gordon Brown's nephew's in the cabinet and that he's a raccoon?
To be honest, though, Frankie might have hit upon something genius there because...
Really?
Listen. Because the Labour Party basically need a new frontman. And the raccoon idea is good, but they should go for that little fella out of the Compare the Meerkat advert because he is possibly the most popular thing in the country.
Yeah, he is.
Imagine that. Simple. Clicks his head, economy fixed.
Meerkat! Why is he Russian? Why is the meerkat Russian? I've never understood that.
Was he dressed up in a stately home? These are questions...
Never been made clear to me. You're making the mistake of imagining that we need something popular to defeat Gordon Brown. You know, you don't need a meerkat. Herpes would beat Gordon Brown.
Let's be honest.
You mean more as a psychic? I don't think herpes would make a good psychic, though. I'm Gordon Brown, and here's my psychic. Yeah, you can see it manifest itself in the corner of my mouth.
The ladies have said, haven't they? They said he needs to tone down his dark side.
Yes.
They appear to have confused him with Darth Vader. But maybe they're right. Maybe it's going to turn out, in fact, David Cameron is, in fact, Gordon Brown's son.
We broke it first. I'd love if that happened. Because Cameron, big fan of the show, by the way. I met Cameron during the week in BBC Radio 2, just in the corridor, and he went, hello, and I went, hello, and he went, oh yeah, Mock the Week, very good. That Boyle chap.
Is that
What did he mean by that, do you think?
I don't know. We just kind of went, because we both like, I have nothing more to add.
You sure it wasn't just in his hit list to MI5, that Boyle chap? Make it look like an accident. This was a criticism made by female Labour MPs, wasn't it? Because they're not been put in the new cabinet. Who wants to be put in Gordon Brown's cabinet? That's like being handed a set of pilot goggles by Emperor Hirohito. Hazel Blair's complaining that women MPs like them are being used as window dressing. Have you seen them? Where would they be window dressing? London Dungeon?
But here's also the thing, man. One of the women was sitting there complaining that she couldn't get close to Gordon Brown. And I'm like, who the hell would want to get close to Gordon Brown? Who's going to sit there and look at that sexy guy over there with one eye? I'd sure like to see his moves shake.
I was wondering maybe Gordon Brown could use his disability to his own advantage. You know, maybe he could say, oh, well, yes, I did see the recession coming. I just couldn't tell how far away it was.
There is a Patricia Hewitt, in possibly the same interview, possibly two interviews during the week, said that the cabinet was both laddish and also very Presbyterian. And there's literally no way in which you can be both laddish and very Presbyterian. I like fast cars and loose women, but not on the Sabbath. It's like saying he's Amish, but he works in IT. Or he's worthwhile, but he's one of the Jonas Brothers. Where was Gordon Brown at the weekend?
Oh, he was in Italy for the G8.
He was indeed.
Not to be confused with the G20, which is the group of 19 industrial nations and the EU, or the G45, which is a group of hypoallergenic countries.
It was fantastic to see Gordon Brown looking incredibly uncomfortable as he met Berlusconi. Berlusconi's sort of like an old-style fixer. Hey, you want pussy, Brown? You want some blow? You want blow? No, I'm just here to talk about trade. You want a boy? I get you a boy, Brown. I get you a girl. I get you a boy, girl. 4 arms, 4 legs. It's like making love to a man spider. You want me to get rid of Cameron? I get rid of Cameron, Brown. I make it look like suicide, like he fell in love with the man spider. I'm turning Spanish. That's how much I love you, Gordon, baby.
He's just moved to Morocco, isn't he?
You're so right, though. He does. Berlusconi probably looks like one of those blokes you meet on a holiday, just went, your wife.
No questions would be asked.
Yeah, but it's
just one night.
Just stuffing money into your hand. You, me, pedalo, her.
No, it would be good. Let me sleep with your wife. No, go away. And then you'd hear him walk away, and at the next table, let me sleep with your wife. No, go away. And that's the way down further.
He's amazing. I mean, to be honest, Berlusconi really puts Brown into perspective. Because did you see when they had those horrific Italian earthquakes? Berlusconi said to the survivors, and I quote, "Hey, don't worry about it. Pretend you're on holiday."
And the shocking thing about that is finding out what a good impression I do of Silvio Berlusconi. Berlusconi is, like, terrifying. He looks like the sort of guy who, if you told him to go fuck himself, he'd give it a try.
To offer a brief amount of fact to back this up, because you know where the G8 summit was held?
L'Aquila.
Laka squawkalaka. I could never pronounce that word.
That's okay. It is a night of bad Italian impersonation, so we'll let you in. But it's called L'Aquila. It's where the earthquake was, and he took them there. It's very symbolic and all that. But nonetheless, even that place, he visited at the time of the earthquake, and went up to one of the doctors, put his arm around it when she was dealing with the situation, and said, "I wouldn't mind being resuscitated by you." Right? During the actual visit, they thought there was an aftershock during the visit, but it was just his headboard banging furiously up.
Can I just say in this photo, if you look at Nicolas Sarkozy there?
Yeah.
I'm just taking a break, man. Just taking a break to do this show. Brown just looks like his polygrips come undone.
It's like he swallowed his bottom lip.
It looks like the world's first conjoined quintuplets on their epic Everest climb. That's what it is.
My
There was one interesting controversy during the G8, and not a particularly serious one. But what happened during the photo call?
Oh, was this the thing where they were supposed to be checking out a woman's arse?
That is exactly it, yeah. This is how much the world's press were. Yeah, there's Obama checking the booty of a 16-year-old Brazilian delegate.
No, she's a 16-year-old Brazilian, but she's also Berlusconi's Minister of Defence.
Just to be fair, by the way, to Obama, it is just... there's a million photographs taken that they get one that looks a little bit like he was. Unlike, say, this photograph, in which he's very definitely checking it out.
Looks like somebody's turned Berlusconi off at the back.
It's Obama, isn't it? Obama's steered the climate change bill through America, and he's done very well at the conferences and stuff. I think because he's been statesmanlike because he's just done the easy conferences. What I want to see is Obama having a huge fallout with the religious leaders of Tibet, so that I can see the headline, Obama Lama Ding Dong.
The end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Tom. Now we play a round called Loose Men. This game involves Andy, Rod, Tom and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners and the people I judge should produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is credit crunch. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, the government have got this idea that what they want to do is bankers who've lost their jobs, they want to retrain them as teachers, but in half the time it would normally take to train a teacher. I bet the teachers are happy about that, aren't they? Hey, these people were crap at banking. The chances are they're also going to be crap at teaching, and they'll be even crapper if they're trying to train them in half the time it would normally take. Yeah, these people, right, surely it'd be better to retrain them as bankers. That is what they were crap
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is eating out. Who wants to talk about that? Rod.
I ate out the other day. That's what I went to Cardiff Bay. It's all changed, you know. They've done it all up, and it's all European development money. And some of the places now have got tables outside. It's al fresco dining in Wales. Just taking the piss. I think I tried to have a Twixt on a bus stop a few years ago down there. It was too wet to eat. So everyone's pretending it's Madrid down there. You know, your soup bowl's filling up faster than you can eat it. I didn't get past my starters after 7 hours of soup and rainwater. I gave up. Everyone's pretending it's Madrid, don't see your soup bowls filling up. There's waiters with frosted eyebrows fighting their way to the tables going, spaghetti carbonara, spaghetti carbonara. I'll get another one, I'll get another one.
Whatever. That leaves us with Tom and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next subject is extreme sports. Who wants to come in on that?
No. Why not? I went skydiving. I don't know if anybody here has ever gone skydiving, but if you haven't gone, I'll tell you what they do. They give you a couple lessons, then they bring you up into the plane, and you're not allowed to jump out of the plane on your own because it's too scary. So what they do is they hang you off the wing of the plane, which isn't scary at all. And the guy inside, he yells, "Let go!" 3 times. Then he gets mad. Starts kicking your hands. 'Cause I'm not letting go. We all skydive different. I skydive with a big plane in my hand.
OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is families.
Well, families are quite peculiar. Mine are wonderful. I went to Brighton the other day, and my uncle was like, watch out, it's full of gays, and they'll get you. They'll get me. They're gays, they're not ninjas. Not gonna... I'm so glad that I was raised by lunatics. I remember one of the weirdest stories I had happen to me when I was little. I was 8 years old. I was in Lanzarote. I just put some rubbish in a bin. I came around a corner and I was confronted by 2 werewolves, right? Turned out it wasn't werewolves, it was my mum and dad. Ah, ha, ha, isn't it hilarious? Not really, I've shat myself, right? But I've only recently found out they did not buy the wolf masks in Lanzarote. They bought them in England, which is beautiful and chilling at the same time. Look what I've got, David. Couple of wolf masks. You know, you don't like wolves, don't you? Captain Shitterbrick next door. Well, let's put him on now, scare him. Can I hold you just there, David? Can I wait until we're in a foreign country, get him really out of his comfort zone, and then properly shit him out? Families.
Well done, Russell. Point it in and go to Rod and Tom. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Rod, which category would you like?
The media, please.
Right, the media, OK. The answer is 1 million. What is the question?
How many Asian children are Brad and Angelina planning to adopt?
Is it, how many times could I punch Adrian Chiles in the face without making him uglier?
Is it in a poll of 1 million people? How many people hate Cristiano Ronaldo?
Is it...
Yes, clearly neither he nor his mother were in the poll then.
No.
Is it how many men will take their kids to watch Harry Potter this week simply to see how Hermione's getting along?
Is it, in 20 years' time, what will be the size of the black nation that Madonna rules?
Is it, how many nectar points do you need to get a set of tumblers?
How much of the money that Amy Winehouse made from the song Tried to Make Me Go to Rehab has she spent on rehab?
Is it by what percentage would the situation in the Middle East be improved if we gave George Bush to the Taliban?
Is it, what number would you get if you took everybody in Scotland who gave a shit about the Ashes and added 1 million?
Is it the number? It's something to do with the phone tapping thing.
It is something to do with the phone tapping, yeah.
Is it the number of conversations of John Prescott's they had to listen to before they got one without the words party bucket in it?
Oh, I know what it is. It's the amount of celebrities that were on a list that they were going to...
Not 1 million.
It's the number they
How
paid
long a list? How long a list would that be?
Hey, it's the amount the News of the World had to... That's paid out so far to people who have accused them of tapping their phone.
Absolutely well done, Rod Gilbert. Absolutely spot on. Very good. The question I was looking for was, what is the minimum amount in pounds that the Guardian claims that the News of the World has already paid in out-of-court settlements to victims of the phone-tapping scandal? This money was said to be paid to settle legal cases that threatened to reveal evidence of journalists' possible use of criminal methods to get stories. So who is alleged to have had their phones tapped?
Unbelievable, people like Patsy Kensit. Yeah. How hard can it be to find out what Patsy Kensit's doing? She'll show you her tits for £50 in quick tokens. You know, John Prescott. What are you going to learn from John Prescott's phone bill? He's having an affair with someone called Domino's.
Vanessa Feltz they got as well, didn't they? Vanessa Feltz said that she knew that she suspected her phone was being tapped because when she went to a restaurant, there were some photographers waiting for her, and how did they know that she was going to eat? And you think, it's because you're Vanessa Feltz.
Maybe they just followed the same trail of cake crumbs that led her there. Maybe they just hung about outside Greg's and got lucky.
It was an astonishingly low-rent collection of people. I mean, it just between Feltz, Anne Robinson, Boris Johnson. If it had ended with Molly Sugden, Barry Chuckle, and Peppa Pig, it couldn't have been less impressive as a series of high-profile claimants.
My favourite was one of them was tapping Nigella Lawson. Imagine that as a job. It'd be like an upper-class sex line. You'd just be there going, I'm thinking about making creme brulee. Be like, oh, can I swap with someone? I've had an erection for 7 days.
I missed this. They phone tapped Nigella.
Yeah. Lawson,
I thought there was a lot of interference on the webcam I'd hidden in her toilet. They They've spent £1 million finding out Nigella lost getting the secret of a perfect Yorkshire pudding. She's written a book about it. They taped a call between Gordon Taylor, the head of the PFA, and Alan Shearer. How didn't that make bigger news? It must have been knocked off page 1 by a story about the rising price of sheds.
News of the world, didn't they? They said we have always been known for our credibility, integrity, and journalistic standards. Now, that doesn't need a punchline, does it?
It wasn't like some fantastically technological thing where they were using satellite, like that Will Smith movie, where they're tracking stuff at the table, like geostationary orbits. It was just they ring up the number and presume that you hadn't changed the code. So they just had 0000 or 1234, and then they got all your answer machines. It is a heist on the level of just ringing these people's houses and whoever answers going, "Hey, it's me, any messages?" and hoping that they didn't recognise that it wasn't your voice. Right? "You sound strange. I've got a cold. Any messages?" They
haven't got a name for it, have they? Because scandals always have a name, so there's always something Gate, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, Ron Gate or Camilla Gate, and this would have to be Stargate. Although they didn't do with Jackie Smith's husband, they avoided it there because that would have to be Mastergate. So maybe it's changed at that.
Something strange, isn't it, about them taping phone calls by footballers? Have you met footballers?
Yeah,
I've met quite a few footballers, right? It's just basically like talking to people who are like 8 years old. Like a conversation between footballers is like, "Oh, all right, Jamie Redknapp, did you have red sauce or brown sauce with your dinner? I don't know, who's your favourite Transformer, Alan?"
Some of them are quite funny. Peter Crouch was asked what he'd be if he wasn't a footballer, and he went, "Probably a virgin." That's pretty funny, man. That's a pretty good line. And what I love about that, if Crouch is watching, he's probably sat at home going, "That's my joke, doing it wrong, bro."
Not just a virgin, Peter, a virgin in a circus. Come and see the ladder man.
He'd be the daddy long legs man, because they'd have stuck other ones because he's so spindly, and he'd be doing this sort of like carpet version. Ah!
Do you reckon Tim Burton sees Peter Crouch and just feels really depressed about his own imagination? So much better than that.
To be honest,
he's like the Nightmare Before Christmas made real. Did anyone see the interview with Jackie Smith in The Guardian?
I don't read it, I only read the News of the World.
She said, didn't she? She said she was talking about the story, right, where she said the husband had been found having a porn film, and she said it was the most embarrassing story possible.
But if I was married to Jackie Smith, I'd be watching porn. I'd be having porn piped directly into my eyes like a Clockwork Orange. I'd have, like, electrodes taking porn into different parts of my brain like a monkey in an anti-vivisection poster.
The best thing about this was the way the different papers reported it. When he got caught watching the porn, The Guardian basically just went, "Isn't it awful? Poor guy, can you imagine it?" The Daily Mail actually compared Jackie Smith to Al Capone. The Sun simply suggested a list of films he may have watched. Isn't that one of which was called... one of which was called Anal Boutique, and I've seen that. It's rubbish. It's just about a lady with a really tidy shop.
I'm not telling you.
People queuing up, though. I mean, it's a general rule in life. People who live in glass houses should masturbate in the basement. That's a rule I strongly believe. OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Rod and Andy. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a survival show.
I was first taught to eat in the bush by a French girl I went out with at university.
To get the fish, break the ice, jump the checkout, and run!
Not only is this lake good for fish, but we can also put a body in it.
Using excrement, mud and twigs, they've made primitive bedding here at the Premier Travel Lodge.
I'm in the Congo. Let's settle this once and for all. Do you boys like umbungo?
here I am in the jungle. The mighty jungle. I win my way, I win my way, I win.
But who are the truly civilised? Is it the Mbupi tribe, or is it us, with our books, our medicine, and our internet? Oh, yes, it's us.
Of course, food is a scarce and valuable resource to these tribespeople. So I've just bagged myself 2 nights with this fella's wife for a Twix.
You know, Ant and Dec think that their jungle's pretty tough. Well, they joined me today. There was no food, so I ate them.
The villagers get up early and walk 5 miles to fetch clean water every day, which begs the question, why not move the village closer?
The strong, powerful sun is making me sweat. Oh, shit, here comes his dad.
I've been living in these woods for 3 weeks now, but that's what happens if you're married to the Home Secretary and she catches you watching porn.
I'm Bear Grylls, and this is my brother, Wolf Stir Fry.
I've just achieved my life's ambition of climbing Everest with no food and no equipment. Now do you love me, Daddy?
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to read on a packet.
Ragu sauce. If you gave this to someone who is actually from Italy, they'd punch you in the face.
To open, push down tab, break tab, swear repeatedly, stab with a pair of scissors!
Serves 4, you greedy bastard. Now put some of that back.
Viagra are proud sponsors of Andy Murray, for people who can only ever achieve a semi.
Bag may also be used for autoerotic asphyxiation.
Fair trade coffee. If you don't like it, you're racist.
Sunny Delight counts towards your 5 a day as -2.
To stop diarrhoea, take 1 teaspoon and shove it up your arse.
Adults and children over 12 years. Try not to get those two mixed up.
Cup of soup. Just add soup.
Best before date, Rohypnol.
Serving suggestion. On a plate, you thick moron.
We use only the very cheapest horse meat to make fuck it, it's just a cat.
Getting that round of points to Frankie, Hugh and Tom. That is the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyd, Hugh Dennis and Tom Stade. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Rod Gilbert and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
More from the inventor who invents things before they've been invented. That Mitchell and Webb look on the way next. And Joy's babies proving to be a bit of a nightmare at bedtime. Psychoville's coming up at 10 here on BBC 2.